Hey guys, Supreme Leader Danky Kang here with some unfortunate news. The Free State is defunct, guys. I tried to basically make a third market currency called Lime Coin. It was basically limestone slabs cut into coins. Um, they were like octagon shaped and they had a cool hole in the middle, like ancient Chinese coins. I thought it would really catch on, but they weighed too much to be considered like useful for a standard measurement of currency. So all the other free states refused to consider it currency. So now I have a bunch of limestone coins all over the fucking place, and nothing to do. All my slaves are dead from tetanus. Uh, there's a few still alive, but of course they can't work, so I can't mine more uh, limestone. Can't mine more marble. I was gonna start selling like tombstones because there's a lot of people dying and like all the private mercenary wars and stuff going on. But that's just like the free market at work. So um, Phil is still bombing my free state. He's launching constant artillery strikes. He's using like makeshift artillery. I'm here in my tank at the bottom of my lake, safe and sound, um, cozy as a baby. And Phil is just being a giant doucher for not wanting to participate in the free market with me and trade me some of his steel. Um, I have taken a few of his child slaves hostage, and I'm keeping them as like leverage. So there's that. But while I wait here in my submerged tank, I thought we could continue on with the brilliant theories of Mr. Dapperton, who is trying to he's trying to warn us. Um, he's trying to warn us, folks, that come November 14th, come November 4th, uh, it's 0 hour, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to happen. Uh, the deep state is going to rise up against Donald Trump and kill all conservative Christian men and put into place a transsexual socialist republic. Anytime a male child is born, they're going to immediately castrate him and force him to be non binary. And of course, you're going to abolish the free market, the great fear, the great fear of all libertarians and liberty lovers. We hate it when our free market gets taken away. We hate it when our private business, our private property gets taken away. Um, and so that's why folks like Mr. Dapperton here have stockpiled a huge amount of weapons so that they can defend it from the evil leftist hordes who are coming to. They're jealous of his wealth, the wealth that he earned completely by himself, uh, through his own genius, his own logic, his own business savvy. Uh, and if society could just let people like Mr. Dapperton do what they wanted, well, then we would be living in a society of supermen, self-actualized geniuses who have infinite amounts of capital to spend on whatever they please. Anyway, let's see what Dapperton has to say, because I'm like him. I'm very concerned about these Antifa soldiers. Uh, I'm afraid they're going to attack me in my sleep. So the few child soldiers I still have left, I have them doing constant round-the-clock patrols of my borders. Because I don't want the Antifa to sneak by when I'm not looking.
So when you're gender fluid and you're constantly changing your genders, what if I call you the wrong gender? Am I going to get arrested?
Yes, you're going to be arrested. You're going to be put in jail. You're going to be assigned a feminine name, and you're going to be castrated and called Mrs. Dapperton from now on, as punishment for being a male. That's obviously what's going to happen. November 4th when the Antifa come, when 0 hour finally arrives. And so, I mean, if you want to, play with your penis one last time before the feminists come, I suggest you do it now. So, pull up some of that libertarian porn. Maybe, look at some Adam Smith books or some, pictures of Ayn Rand in like sexy poses, and, just do what you got to do. Because, once the Antifa comes, that equipment's not going to be used anymore.
Well, they're trying to make that happen. How stupid is that?
That's pretty fucking stupid. It would be stupid if people were actually trying to make that happen. I agree.
I can't read your mind. I don't know what gender you are. I don't know if you're a Walmart toaster or what the fuck you are.
I'm a toaster gender. I haven't really talked on this channel about the old attack helicopter gender joke, but maybe that's a video for a different time. But it's literally one of the most tired homophobic arguments I've ever seen. It just keeps getting regurgitated. And Ben Shapiro specifically likes this joke a whole lot, and he says it like every fucking year during LGBT Pride Month. He's like, Happy Helicopter Pride Month, and just dumb stuff like that. It's like, haha, you're so original. You told a joke that like literally every other fucking right winger on the internet has told at least one time before. You know what's not even as tired a meme as the helicopter joke? The fucking I took an arrow to the knee meme. That's more that's a fresher, danker meme than the shit that you than the attack helicopter gender meme. Like, come on, bro.
While continuing to murder and incarcerate black people.
Mr. Dapperton is one of those guys that Trump would refer to as a low IQ individual. Just a low IQ.
Okay, I've been around long enough to see enough of these cases where Black Lives...
And here's another thing. He's like, I'm going to defend my, free state libertarian territory from the Antifa hordes. And all you good, well-meaning folks should join me. But, who's going to join up with a guy who's wearing like a fucking painted hockey mask and has a chainsaw for a hand and a double-barrel shotgun in the other? And he's just some kind of creep that has like a mansion full of like weed and cartons of raw milk and golden bars, and he just sits and whines about how like the feminists are coming to get us all. If somebody like that asked me to join up with them, I'd be like, no, thank you, bro. You look like you got it covered just fine. So yeah. How about nobody join you and you just take on all the Antifa hordes to yourself? Because, I mean, you've got 4 fucking guns there, 3 assault rifles. I mean, how insecure are you? How many assault rifles do you need? Like, how many... Do you think you're going to be like Tony Montana and Scarface? Because even he just had 1 assault rifle. So this guy, like, he's prepared for some like serious shit to go down, but I would tell him to watch out for that raw milk, especially above the fireplace like that, because it's bound to spoil real quick, and he'll probably get like botulism or some shit and die. But at least he wouldn't have to go to like a government hospital and use like government funded medicine to save his life. So I mean, I guess every time Mr. Dapperton drinks some of his raw milk, he's doing what in free market capitalist terms called making a risky investment. He's pretty much saying, I'm going to chug this raw milk and just hope that I don't get E. coli or some other horrible poisoning and die, because I sure as hell don't want to like give my money to a public hospital or anything like that.
Matter and Black Panthers riot, and it's usually see enough of these cases.
Straight black people.
Okay, I've been around long enough to see enough.
This guy's been around the block. You should listen to him. I mean, he's jaded, but he's a seasoned OG. Mr. Dapperton's an OG, and he's been around the block and he knows shit.
For these cases where Black Lives Matter and Black Panthers riot, and it's usually over a stupid reason.
It's a stupid reason, black people being shot by cops like literally every fucking day for extremely minor reasons. It's not a big deal. It's a stupid reason. I'm sure if cops were killing Ancaps every day, Mr. Dapperton would say, I don't understand why everybody's complaining. It's no big deal.
The black guy's usually always in the wrong.
Yeah, tell that to like fucking Trayvon Martin. Tell that to Anton Black. Tell that to all these kids that fucking got shot by cops for doing like literally nothing or committing an extremely like minor offense like selling cigarettes and getting choked out in the streets of New York City. Just shit like that happens. Rodney King, but nothing. They're all just making a big stink out of nothing. Black people have no legitimate grievances in this country. They just need to like suck it up, invest in Bitcoin, get some raw milk in their system, and stock up on guns and golden bars, and then they'll be good, clean, pure liberty, big brain boys like me and Mr. Dapperton.
They had a gun and they were pointing it at the police officer, or they were doing something similar, but just as stupid. So yeah, they did.
Like, can you give us a case? Can you like at least cite like one fucking incident where this actually happened, so you can like, I don't know, have at least some kind of grounds to make this statement? Because otherwise, this guy's just pulling shit out of his ass. He's saying like the feminists are gonna come arrest you for misgendering them. All right, well, where's your fucking evidence for that? He's saying like the blacks are gonna come get you. All right, well, where's your fucking evidence for that? You're just an idiot. You're just an idiot that sits in his fucking weird free state castle all day and just worries about the fucking Antifa super soldiers that are coming that are never gonna fucking come. So you just stock up on guns and drugs and slaves and God knows what. You just stay in your little Ancap castle and you just say all this like nerdy shit about how the femoids are gonna rise up and destroy all men and make them gender fluid. Like, what an overblown fucking non-issue. Again, I need to remind everybody, nothing fucking happened on November. Nothing happened on November 4th. This big brain boy's big genius plan that he's warning everybody about, it never happened. So this idiot was just locked. He was probably sitting in his apartment, locked and loaded, just ready for some Antifa to like come down the street. And nothing happened. He just sits in his apartment like a fucking loser, waiting for the Civil War to begin. He probably can't wait to, kill some liberals and some leftists. Let's keep going, because I have a feeling I have a feeling this is just the beginning of what we'll see from Mr. Dapperton. I feel like he's got a lot more sage wisdom to offer us in video's future.
Deserved death. Sorry.
Wait, let's go
similar, but gun, and they were pointing it at the police officer, or they were doing something similar, but just as stupid. So yeah, they deserved death.
They deserve death. Like, how is that your fucking decision to make, dude? You're some dorky Dapperton MAGA chuds Pepe Lord sitting in his, apartment ranting about the femoids and the Antifa super soldiers, and you're saying like all black people killed by cops pretty much had it coming because they were acting up or they were doing something wrong. I'm sorry, the burden's not on the fucking person that got murdered. You go to a murder scene, you see a dead body, you see the murderer there with the weapon and all that stuff. You don't say, well, I'm sure she did something to instigate this. I'm sure the lady, I'm sure she swung first. It's like the results don't justify the story. Like, even if you were swung on by a black guy, you're a trained law enforcement officer. You're supposed to be able to handle like physical confrontations like that without needing to just pop caps constantly and kill people. I'm sorry, but it's not like police in other countries don't deal with like drunken brawls and crazy guys coming up to them trying to fight. But unlike American cops, they don't just blow the person's brains out if they're black. So ignorance, and racism from Dapperton.
Sorry, but dumb decisions land you in the grave faster. That's just a fact of life.
Yeah, I mean, all you black people, you should really listen to Mr. Dapperton. He's got some, you know, he understands your position more than you guys do, and he knows what you need to do. You black people need to shape up. You need to listen to Mr. Dapperton. You need to shape up. Stop doing so much gang crime. Stop forcing the police to kill you. Why do you make them do it? Why do you make them do it? It's like a battered housewife. It's who blames herself when her husband beats her. It's like you're supposed to blame yourself, you black people.
The revolutionary abolitionist movement unequivocally states that the plantation system must be destroyed.
I'm sure Dapperton doesn't believe that exists, or even if he acknowledges that it exists, he probably thinks it's a good thing because it's like the free market at work. He probably thinks like the private prison industry is just a great fucking institution to have.
Today, the anarchist struggle and anti-state feminism are flourishing, and authoritarian modes of resistance are now discredited.
I don't know about that, but let's keep going.
The revolution in Rojava in northern Syria has set a new standard.
Yep. Shout out to the Rojava revolution in Kurdistan, northern Syria. I might do a video on them in the future. They're pretty much like a modern day analog to the CNT-FA, so that's cool.
With a foundation in feminism, ecology, anti-state
Now it's gonna be funny to see Dapperton like shit on the YPJ because they like literally have nothing to do with American politics. These are like Kurdish people standing up for like a Kurdish social revolution. It has nothing to do with American politics. So if this fucker like says that, oh, look at these Kurds, they're all Antifa, and Kurds are just only one step away from being Muslims, so Antifa are all like Muslim terrorists in training. Like, I think that's probably the route he's gonna go down, but we're gonna have to see.
Organizing an armed struggle, it has actualized a path towards liberation beyond 20th century nationalism.
See, Republicans see all those brown people and they get real nervous. They're like, oh no, it's ISIS, it's a jihad. Even though these people are Kurds.
With the founding of groups like the International Revolutionary People's Guerrilla Force.
All right, so look at these flags here. They have the anti-fascist action flag. Show this image to anybody that says the Antifa are a bunch of like snowflake pussies that want a safe space. Show them this image. These are people fighting against ISIS. They have more balls than those kinds of people that say that Antifa are pussies. They have more balls than those MAGA chuds ever will. They're out there on the battlefield fighting for the people's revolution. And even if you're on the left and you don't have complete 100% ideological agreement with the YPJ, you have to at least acknowledge what they've built given the chaotic conditions that Kurdistan's in. And they are far more progressive than any other government in that region. I know some leftists have issue with the YPJ because they, of course, oppose Assad. But from what I've studied from Syria, the Syria situation, Assad's days are numbered. He's going to essentially be the next. He's going to be the next Muammar Gaddafi. At least that's my opinion. It could be wrong. I hope that stability returns to Syria, but that's not really the topic of this video. Let's keep going with Dapperton because I'm sure Dapperton is completely aware of all of the very complex geopolitical uh, dynamics at play in Kurdistan and in Syria.
Forces, it is clear that this is the time for anarchist revolutionaries to act without hesitation.
Yeah, you guys are totally serious. That's why you guys had to get a fundraiser. Fucking idiots.
Once again, this guy shits on fundraisers, but like how are crowd-funded things supposed to function like in a libertarian society? You don't have fucking government, you don't have social security. So like let's say if the main road in town just completely is disheveled and broken down, like you'll have to pool all your funds together, everybody will. So you're going to have to like rely on charities. So these libertarian idiots are all like, "Oh, we don't need public healthcare option, just use charities." But then he's opposed to like the left using fundraisers to fund socialist revolutions. I'm sorry, what were they supposed to do? Um, go out, become capitalist, generate a bunch of profit, and then divert that profit to the socialist revolution? Like, okay, it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Were they just supposed to stay home and not do anything? Because I mean, I'm sure Mr. Dapperton would have liked that, but how can you reasonably expect the left just to sit by, do nothing while fascism and nationalism rise globally? This guy's a fool who has no. Uh, he shouldn't have an audience. He's a fool that uh, is completely ignorant of geopolitics.
I bet you guys don't even get enough money because everybody lives with their fucking parents.
Once again, he's going down the parent route. Like, I think this is all just projection on Dapperton's part. Like, I really think he's probably one of those MAGA Chud Pepe poll posters who really does live in mommy's basement and gets tendies every single day. And he just makes these videos where he draws cartoons of himself like decked out in fucking assault rifles and chainsaws and a painted hockey mask, like he's some kind of knockoff Jason Voorhees, and then he lectures the left about how they're immature man babies that live in their mother's basement. We're not the one following the immature man baby philosophy. Libertarianism, and by that extension, anarcho-capitalism, is an ideology made for children. It's an ideology made for baby men who want to feel like big business guys. Like, ooh, I want to feel like a CEO, and if the big government would just get out of my way, I would be top dog. I would be Elon Musk. I would be Jeff Bezos. Instead, you don't realize, one, you probably wouldn't even be alive without the government. And then you also have to realize, like, you use government services every single day, whether you know it or not. Roads, internet. I mean, just take the internet, for example. Internet was developed using public funds. So, I mean, this idiot should, if anything, if he was a person of principle, he would, ditch the public internet option, make his own server, and like figure out how to get his own internet service provider system set up in his little free state. Let's keep listening to what Dapperton says. So I mean, it showed Richard Spencer getting punched, one of my favorite videos. I'm sure Dapperton has some bad things to say about that.
Then they show some clips showing how fucking violent they are.
Oh yeah, it's so violent. Punching a Nazi makes you just as bad as the Nazi. Am I right? Remember when like your grandpa stormed the beaches at Normandy, and afterward a Frenchman came up to him and said, Monsieur, you were just as bad as those fascists. And then they had like a captured German POW, and he said, you Western allies, you treat us very, very inhumanely. You are basically just as evil as we. This is the world Dapperton lives in. The world where like punching a Nazi makes you literally like worse than Nazis. guy had a sign that said "All Lives Matter," clearly, meant to piss off black people, and gets all shocked and pissy when a black person slaps the sign away. Like, what did you? Once again, like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, you say stupid shit, you do stupid shit, and if you're a big boy, you should realize big boy words, big boy actions have big boy consequences. So Mr. Dapperton, like, I guess he just doesn't understand. Like, if you go up to a crowd of black people with a shirt that says like, or a sign that says like "All Lives Matter," they're gonna take offense. They're gonna get pissed off. It's like you poke a hornet's nest and then you get surprised when you get stung. What did you expect would happen, you dumb fuck?
Show some clips showing how fucking violent they are.
So violent. I'm seeing people getting killed left and right. It's extremely violent.
How fucking violent they are.
I mean, Richard Spencer getting punched. I mean, you can pretty much equate that to like the Jews going to the gas chambers. Both of those were just both equally as bad. This guy slapping the "All Lives Matter" sign out of the white guy's hand. I mean, that was an act of violence that like you would see the fascists do to like Polish people in Auschwitz. I mean, it's truly some violent stuff, folks. Let's look at some more Antifa violence. Guys, looks like they're just
showing how
swinging in the air.
They are.
That guy looked like he was just swinging something in the air, or like tearing down a sign. Like, I'm not seeing anybody getting like bludgeoned over the head. I'm not seeing anybody get like shot, stabbed. Nobody's getting like lynched or drug on the ground or anything like that. I'm not seeing any fucking violence. What I'm seeing is direct action in response to the violence that is white supremacy.
We declare our solidarity with the international anti-fascist and anarchist struggle and propose concrete steps in the fight for abolition. Revolutionary abolitionists must fight hand in hand with those facing oppression. We intend to establish a new underground railroad to free people from bondage.
Screw that underground railroad and freeing people from bondage. You know what that sounds like? Sounds like Antifa is gathering recruits for their sleeper cell uprising. It's all part of the plan, folks. George Soros funds immigrants to come over in our country so he can take our liberty and destroy Western civilization for some reason. Hey, what's he laughing at?
A new underground railroad to free people from bondage.
Yeah, freeing people from bondage. That's a real fucking mockable endeavor. Could you imagine like Dapperton, like during the actual Underground Railroad? He would think that's like the dumbest thing. Oh, Harriet Tubman, you're helping those slaves escape? That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna go call the slave police to come bust you guys up. I wish that Dapperton was like a refugee. He had to seek asylum somewhere just so he could get a little like taste of what these people are going through. Then we'll see how fucking funny he finds it.
They're gonna create an underground railroad?
See, he's so dumb. He probably thinks you're talking about like a real railroad underground. Like the fascists are gonna like put rail tracks down underground to funnel immigrants through.
What the fuck?
By building revolutionary self-defense networks, connecting them.
I would be surprised if Dapperton even knew what the fucking Underground Railroad was. Like the one that, the slaves used.
To one another, and developing.
I mean, after all, he doesn't seem to realize like why fucking black people are angry, why Black Lives Matter even exists. He just doesn't understand. He just thinks they're all like making it up. Why? I don't know. He probably thinks they're trying to like get reparations, even though he doesn't believe they deserve it, or something stupid like that.
Militant strategies in our neighborhoods. Our network will create the capacity to destroy state power and defend our communities.
You're just a bunch of kids living in their parents' basement.
He's really fixated on this kid in the parents' basement. I think this is like the fourth fucking time he said it. I'm telling you, it just becomes clearer and clearer. This thing is like a litmus test. You look at it and or this guy is just the if I had to pin any of the people I've covered on this channel as like a basement dwelling, just complete Pepe cringe keck lord, um, it would probably be this guy. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? You're gonna say that the Antifa are like these basement dwelling dorks? Fucking look at this picture. How can you be serious? How can you say that with a serious fucking face when look at your picture, dude? Like, come come
Playing
on.
soldier.
You look like a knockoff Freddy or a knockoff Jason Voorhees. You're like if Jason Voorhees and Ron Paul had like a deformed demon baby. That's what you look like, dude. That's what you are.
That's what you are.
No, that's what you are, you butthead.
Kids live in their parents' basement playing soldier. That's what you are.
He says they're kids in their parents' basement playing soldier. Meanwhile, he's the one surrounded by fucking 3 assault rifles and a double barrel shotgun, and he's wearing a fucking like hockey mask painted all up. Like he's some kind of like badass superhero like Batman or something. Give me a break, dude.
You're losers.
Does this guy think he's like V from Vendetta or something? I mean, look at how he draws himself. He's got a fucking chainsaw for a hand, so already he's like Ash from Evil Dead. Ash versus the Evil Dead. He's got the double barrel shotgun thing going. So he's totally ready for like a zombie apocalypse.
You don't have a shot in hell.
I think we got a better shot than you do, asshole. Better shot at like building a lasting social movement and like improving the lives of more people than your dumbass philosophy ever will. Yeah, I can't wait for like an ANCAP or libertarian candidate to like actually get put in charge of something for once, and then they just totally fuck it up, and everyone will be able to look at and laugh at just what a miserable failure libertarianism really is.
A new global paradigm for revolution has been established, to be taken up by dedicated revolutionaries, autonomous territories, guerrillas in armed struggle, and all those engaged in the global...
All of those people sound like they're doing a little bit something more than just like LARPing from their parents' basements. Like guerrilla warriors, yeah, those are some real mommy's basement dwelling cringe boys, right? These hardened fucking guerrilla soldiers that live out in the jungle for months. They eat bugs, they eat whatever they can scavenge from the land, prepared to die. I mean, these people are like hard asses. They are sexual tyrannosauruses, and this dude is like a little bitty tree lizard in comparison. This guy's just a little peewee boy, and he's like mocking leftist guerrilla forces. Like this guy's never been in a fucking battle. This guy. What cause does Dapperton fight for? Like, what army would he join? What big movement would he support? Like the fucking incel uprising or something? Probably.
drive towards liberation and away from state,
Incels rise up.
capitalism, patriarchy, and domination. We call on anti-state revolutionary groups to join the revolutionary abolitionist movement and send this message to our comrades to help build the capacity to burn down the American plantation once and for all.
I think Revolutionary Action Movement missed a big opportunity. They should have made their flag emblem that of a mountain ram. And from its horns, one of its horns is a hammer, and the other horn is a sickle. I think that would have been cool, but the star works too. Star's kind of been there before, done that, but it's a tried and true leftist emblem. Everybody likes a good star.
Oh God, I hope you try.
Let's
capacity to
see.
burn down the
Yeah, look at these nerds here with their, revolutionary social movement that they've built up. I mean, like, at least they're out there doing something. At least they're out there, like, trying to make a difference. Like, what the fuck is Dapperton doing? Just sitting in his basement, like, eating Cheetos, playing Fortnite, whining about the femoids. That's all that Dapperton does.
American.
He dreams about, like, the day he can get his private fucking ethno-state where he can be, like, the king dictator and boss everybody around and have all these, like, child slaves and shit. Like, that's Dapperton's fucking dream. Well, my dream is to create a society where, my kids can live comfortably. They don't have to, like, toil and die in this fascist hellscape. But, you do you.
American plantation once and for all.
Oh God, I hope.
Let me guess, he's gonna call us, like, basement dwellers. He's gonna call us pussies. He's gonna tell us to, like, get out of mommy's basement and get out of our safe space and go cry and, we're snowflakes, blah blah blah. I mean, this is like Dapperton 101. Like, I feel like this guy's a one note song. I've got him down. Like, I know what the fuck he's gonna say before he even says it because he's so fucking stupid.
Hope you try, because you guys would be so fucked. It would be a
Yep, he's calling us pussies and stuff. I mean, I called it, dude.
pleasure to watch, to tell you the truth. Now let's see their fundraiser and see how much they raised to fund all this. Wait, what the
You know what? $176 from 5 contributors. I bet fucking Dapperton couldn't find 5 contributors to donate to his weird if he wanted to form some kind of, like, weird Ancap commune somewhere. I'm sure he would get just thousands of dollars of donations. I'm sure because he has a legitimate social movement behind him. Dapperton does. I mean, I'm sure if he started, like, a Kickstarter or something, he would make millions. He'd be able to make his own free state and live his little Ancap life to the fullest.
$176, and their goal was 5,000.
Yeah, Kickstarters fail. Big fucking surprise, dude. Not every Kickstarter is a big success.
Shit. This proves for a fact that the majority of Antifa live with their parents.
That's some objective reasoning right there, dude. The majority of Antifa live with their parents, even though we just saw dozens of fucking pictures and videos of, like, Antifa soldiers and guerrilla forces and activists all over the fucking world marching on the streets, like, doing what they're supposed to do. The guy is, like, telling us we haven't seen what we clearly just saw. Dapperton is so stupid. He can see something and then say that he didn't see that and be completely, totally, legitimate, totally honest. We just saw, like, armed, fucking hardcore leftist soldiers, and this guy's like, "Oh, you're all just a bunch of basement-dwelling pussies living in your mother's basement. You can't do a Kickstarter campaign that probably didn't get a whole lot of exposure in the first place." Because, I mean, it's not like Antifa is, like, this united front. All these dumb right-wingers seem to think, like, there's some kind of nefarious evil cabal, like this council of Antifa that meets, like, in the dregs of George Soros's basement. They, like, discuss the revolution. And they decided, like, start this Kickstarter. Like, alright, I count myself among the anti-fascists. I didn't know what the fuck this thing was. It's not like we have, like, a newsletter. It's not like we have, like, a central organization. That's, part of the point of Antifa is to be amorphous, to be able to pop out wherever fascism manifests. And in that aspect, they should be flexible. That there's probably dozens of Kickstarter things like this. There's probably dozens of them right now. This moron finds one that failed and says, "Checkmate, lib cucks. This is proof that all Antifa are just basement dwelling dorks. Um, this is pretty. I think this is a great channel for all the reasons Mr. Dapperton would probably not want it to be a great channel. I find it extremely cringy. I find it gives me a whole lot of stuff to talk about and to debunk because Dapperton's such a fucking idiot. Uh, it gives me it gives me the willies to see this dude and to see just this weird Ancap philosophy because I've never really gone in libertarian circles before. I've read libertarian literature before, and it's really like basic. It's really uh, like relying on it's just common sense to have like money modeled after the gold standard, just like dumb stuff like that. And uh, it's never gotten like any kind of real social traction behind it. Like the only people that are attracted to libertarianism are like white males that are politically ignorant. Because like the more they actually like learn about politics, if they're truly like interested in educating themselves, they'll just realize like ANCAP is just the philosophy of like corporate bootlicking pushed to its like ultimate extreme. It's essentially like hail corporate given a political philosophy. These idiots seem to think like in this a libertarian ANCAP paradise, like they'll be able to carve out a piece of the pie of like their own private property and make just tons and tons of profit, and that's bullshit because the people that own giant amounts of capital now, just for an example, say like Jeff Bezos, he just decides to buy like the entire state, and now the entire state just belongs to Jeff Bezos. And if you have any like grievances about that, like most libertarians would because they love being free and having liberty, well then Jeff Bezos just uses his liberty and his money that is legitimately earned in the capitalist system according to ANCAP, uh, and he uses his private mercenary army to butcher all of you and to turn you into medieval serfs. So that's pretty much like the end stage of libertarianism is basically like neo-feudalism. It's something that politically ignorant, privileged white kids find very attractive. And usually it's because in high school they tell you read Ayn Rand, stupid authors, stupid books, and kids read it and they think they're very fucking smart and they think that they're like these enlightened libertarians, and then next thing you know, you wind up like Mr. Dapperton. Let's see how he sort of concludes this video, and then we'll just sort of wrap it up.
And they don't have jobs. This is the best. This is the greatest gift.
Because and no leftist out there has jobs. Nobody. We're all just a bunch of jobless dorks. At this point, I'm repeating myself, but he keeps repeating himself. He hurls the same like 2 or 3 fucking insults at us because his brain doesn't work anymore. It's been clogged by lead contaminated water because he doesn't believe in like publicly funded water treatment plants. So I think he's drank too much raw milk. I think he's contracted like botulism or something, and he's just unable to. It's almost like he's tripping. It's almost like he's tripping and he's stuck in a thought loop where he can only like repeat the same thought again and again and again because he just keeps calling us the same thing. Like at this point, I might as well not even watch the final fucking 30 seconds of the video because I already know what it's gonna be. It's just gonna be haha, Antifa are a bunch of like basement dwelling dorks. Checkmate. Great job, Dapperton. You're a real dapper dude. Real enlightened. A big brain, galaxy brained Dapperton boy. Really put me in my place. He really showed me that Antifa are just the scum of the earth, and his philosophy of anarcho-capitalism definitely the most logical, definitely the most science-based political philosophy of all time. Um, we might return to Dapperton, but uh, it's almost kind of painful to listen to. I don't think I'll cover him if he just continues on just this sort of very shallow, childish insults. Like if he had actual like something of substance to say, then I might have something to criticize. But if he's just gonna call us like mommy's boys and nerds and basement dwellers, like I got better thing to do with my time than concern myself with this clown. This guy's a clown. Uh, I have no idea how many subscribers does this fool have. Uh, how many subscribers? Let's see. 119,000. So almost 120,000 subscribers. I mean, if you ever like want to doubt the human race, look at this fucking number right here. 120,000 people think Mr. Dapperton is intelligent. 120,000 people think that Mr. Dapperton's takes are like hot takes and they're worth listening to. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more I can sort of dive into here. This guy, um, he didn't even talk about the Antifa uprising. He was just saying they're coming, dude, but he didn't tell us like how to get ready. He didn't tell us like when or where or how or why or who. He literally like gave no information at all. He just threw this fucking conspiracy theory out there that like on November 14th it's gonna happen, and then uh nothing happened, idiot. You're safe. You're safe. You can drink all the raw milk and smoke all the dank chem dog weed you want while you polish your guns. Nobody's gonna fucking come and take you for misgendering people. No black people are gonna like storm your house in the middle of the night and like kill you. This is all just completely overblown victim complex alarmist bullshit. And Mr. Dapperton, he's just kind of a pathetic guy. I mean, uh, let me know what you think in the comments. But this was a very interesting little Pandora's box that I've opened here.